hundreds of one-room country schools were nestled in the lovely green valleys, on the open prairies, and along deserted backcountry roads all over the land, blending features of the old and the new. They were unique for their time and place, and for a century provided the first and often the only formal learning experience for the children in much of rural America. In earlier years, most walked to school or came by horse. However, in more recent times, the school bus and the automobile replaced most of the two-footed and all of the four-footed forms of transportation. Every day was a renewal of close, lasting friendships, and together some new discovery or some startling new fact was shared. Inevitably, somebody was late. Love and respect of country was emphasized. The country school exemplified what is known today as the ungraded elementary school, or more simply, the cutting across of grade levels and age differences. The younger children enjoyed listening to the reading of the older children, and young interests were often stimulated by this advanced activity. Then, too, there was always the opportunity to review some things that were missed or to refresh old learning. Teacher, as if psychic, knew when individual attention was needed, and then would leave the student to work independently, for she always had plenty to do. Grading papers, planning lessons for 3 or more classes, keeping records, answering questions, patiently helping students with special problems, and sharing cherished secrets. Contents of the lunch pails was often surprising and always anticipated. Children soon learned the art of shrewd bartering with all its value systems. But there was work to be done. The teacher checked to find out how well the class had mastered their assigned lessons for the day. Interest was always evident, and additional information was frequently asked for and given, and all were proud and happy when their turn came to recite. Recess was a highlight of the day. Play was simple, equipment was meager, and an old teeter-totter the prized and often the only possession. The teacher had as another of her duties that of recreation director, and she became ingenious in devising group games. came to visit, to help plan a decoration for holiday parties, and of course to confer with the teacher about a child's behavior and progress. Spelling bee was a big part of the instructional program, and most enjoyable too. Or at least until a word came along that proved too difficult. A field trip was as convenient as the nearest field or the woods behind the school. The local area served as botanical garden, science laboratory, and playground. Birds, flowers, trees, and insects were all readily available for identification and study. Many a budding scientist received his start in the study of the nature around him. The woods held few mysteries for the inquiring mind, and intense interest focused on every word of explanation. Creativity was encouraged since resource materials, library holdings, and audiovisual aids were seldom available. Cooperation and an understanding of other people was a part of the educational process too. Each child helped the others to learn. Although deprived of many advantages possessed by the students in the newer consolidated schools, the children of the country school shared a common bond when report card time arrived. The one-room country school had many disadvantages, to be sure. But with these disadvantages came a challenge, the challenge to learn, to excel, and to grow in wisdom and stature. The era of the country school is gone, but its impact on our society will remain forever. For within its four walls was nurtured the seeds of our growing nation. Indeed, the heritage of the American educational system owes much to the legend, lore, and legacy of the one-room country school.